Art friends, and your mommies and your daddies and your grandmas, we're gonna get ready, go over our materials. Before we get started, we need a half a sheet of paper. Today's project is an up and down project, so we need a nice piece of paper that's about this big, a half sheet of paper. My art friends need a pencil and an eraser. And we need a black marker or a black crayon to do our art project. So that's what we're going to start out with today. So get all of those art supplies ready while I read the story. And if you listen to the story and check out the pictures and focus on the story, you might figure out what our art project is today. It's really cute, one of my favorites. So we're gonna get it going and we're gonna see what we're gonna do, okay? What we're gonna make. All right. Let me get my library book ready here. The story is called 3 Hens and a Peacock. 3 hens and a peacock. Three hens and a peacock. See the birdie feet? And this story takes place on a farm. Okay, everybody ready? I'm gonna try to set this up so I can read it. Things were quiet on the Tuckers' farm. The cows chewed their cud, and the hens clucked and pecked and laid their eggs. The old hound dog stretched out on the porch, watching and listening. Once in a while, someone would drive by and stop to buy tomatoes or corn or perhaps a quart of milk. Nothing unusual happened there until a truck came by and something fell out of the back of the truck until that peacock showed up. Look at that peacock. Well, the cows and the hens and the old hound kept right on doing what they'd always done. But that peacock had never lived on a farm, and he had no idea what to do. So he spread his fancy feathers and set to shrieking. Yep, he started shrieking and shrieking. Wow. Eventually, the peacock wandered down to the road. When cars whizzed by, he shook his feathers and cried out in his loudest voice. Of course, folks stopped for a closer look. Everybody was pulling over to look at that peacock. And look, they're getting out of their cars. They're taking pictures. Kids are admiring the peacock. He's awfully fancy. Day after day, more people stopped to admire that peacock. And while they were there, they bought tomatoes and corn and eggs and milk. Business was booming on the Tuckers' farm. Oh, there's our friend the peacock. Everyone seemed happy to have all those visitors stopping by the farm. peacock had heard, whoops, sorry friends, I skipped a page. Let me try again. But trouble was brewing in the hen house. Not everyone was happy about the peacock. Trouble was brewing in the hen house. The hens were squawking and clucking and flapping their wings. We do all the work around here. I'd like to see that peacock lay one single egg. Exactly. He just struts around screaming. I suppose fancy feathers are more important than laying eggs. Well, the peacock had heard every word. The chicken said, we do all the work, and he just struts around screaming. For days, the peacock moped about, moaning and groaning. I wish I could be more useful around here, he said. Humph, clucked the hens. The others ruffled their feathers. The old hound just stretched and slowly raised his head. Why don't you let the peacock stay here and be useful while you take the glamorous job down by the road? So the dog had the idea for the peacock and the hens to switch jobs. That's a good idea, a switch. The three hens began clucking to one another. What a wonderful plan. Yes, it's a fabulous idea. Oh, ladies, we simply must fancy up our feathers tonight. And nothing but our brightest beads and bangles and bows will do. We'll stop traffic for sure. Why, girls, I know I can strut with the best of them. The peacock perked up. He said, let's do it. Tomorrow I'll stay here, I'll sit on the nest, and I'll cluck. And we'll get gussied up, said the hens. We'll be so glamorous. At sunrise the next morning, the hens strutted down to the road. Oh, look at the chickens. They're all dressed up. They have bracelets on and beautiful beads and bows. These hens look beautiful. Well, the peacock marched right over to the hen house and poked his head inside. The hens flocked by the road, waiting for a car. When they saw one approaching, they clucked and they squawked and they flapped their wings in a flurry of feathers, but every car just whizzed by. Look at the chickens. They're trying so hard. The peacock sucked in his tummy and wiggled from left to right, trying to squeeze into the hen house. His front half was in, and his back half was out. Down by the road, those hens tried every chicken trick they knew, but still no one stopped. See, they're standing on each other's heads, trying to make a pyramid. Nothing is working. Finally, the peacock made it all the way into the hen house. He tried, he held his breath, and he pushed with all his might. But no matter how hard he tried, he could not lay a single egg, not one. Can't do it. The old hound dog stretched out on the porch, watching and listening. There he is. What's that peacock doing in the hen house? Asked Farmer Tucker. Who knows, said Mrs. Tucker. And what are all those chickens doing down by the road? Not a single one of them is up here laying eggs. Well, the way things are going, we aren't likely to have anyone buying eggs today, said Farmer Tucker. We need that peacock down by the road to stop all the cars. When the peacock heard that, he smiled, the biggest smile you ever saw on a bird's beak. I am helping, he thought, and he squirmed back and forth until he popped out of the cramped hen house, and then he trotted off to find the hens. Oh, look how happy he is. The exhausted chickens were all clucked out. Every feather was out of place. Oh, what a day. Oh, these chickens they're a mess. We couldn't get one car to stop. It's true, and most of them didn't even slow down. Oh, these chickens are exhausted. The peacock met the hens as they trudged up the road. I can tell you, I am no good at laying eggs. I'm just not meant for it. One of the hens nodded and said, I put on my stellar strut, and even though I couldn't stop a single car, she said, I have to hand it to you, Mr. Fancy Feathers. Your job is harder than it looks. The other hens agreed, and the peacock looked very relieved. See him? He's very relieved. So the hens marched right back into the hen house, and the peacock strutted down to the road. The old hound dog stretched out on the porch, watching and listening, and things were quiet again on the Tuckers' farm. The end. All right. So that was a cute story. I love that story. And the moral of the story, the lesson of the story is that everybody has a job. Everybody is good at something. Everybody has an important part to play. So just because that peacock couldn't lay an egg doesn't mean that he's not important, doesn't have a job to do. And the reason why, boys and girls, that peacock couldn't lay a single egg is because that peacock with his big fancy feathers is the boy peacock. And everybody knows the boy peacocks can't lay the eggs. It's the girl peacocks that have the job to lay the eggs. So if you see a peacock that's bright blue and has the fabulous fan of feathers, you know it's a boy peacock. Here's another cool picture. See the eyes? Every feather has an eye. These spots. Here's a peacock with his long tail all folded up, dragging behind him. And this is a good picture. I wanted to show you this one because of the peacock's little tiny head and his crown. Peacocks have a beautiful crown on the top of their head. Here's another good picture of the little head, the yellow beak, and their crown. See how beautiful his colors are? He is very fancy. And here he is squawking and screaming with all his fabulous feathers. So we're gonna get going on our project. I'm ready if you guys are. So everybody got their paper? We're gonna do an up and down project today. And our first step with your pencil, friends, I want you to find, I'm gonna back up a little bit. I want you to find the middle of your paper, the very middle. And right in the middle of your paper, with your pencil, I want you to draw a spot about that big. I'm using marker so you can see what I'm doing on the camera. So I'm using marker, but I want you guys to use your pencil. So if you make a mistake, or mommies and daddies and grandmas make a mistake, you can fix it, because we're gonna go over everything with the pen, marker, or the crayon in a few minutes. But the first step is that we're gonna draw a dot right in the middle of the page. Step one. Next step, let's draw a little circle around that dot to create the eye for our peacock. And then we're going to draw the back of the peacock's head right around that eye. Looks like a U or a smile. And then we're going to go down and make a V to connect it. And there we have his beak. Almost looks like a little teardrop shape. So then we're going to go like this to create his beak. And now we're good with the head. Now we're going to skip down to the bottom of the page, and I want you to use 2 fingers to measure right in the middle of the page, straight down from the head. We're going to draw 2 birdie feet, like in the book. 2 skinny little birdie feet, and they're about 1 inch. And then that will help us figure out the right place to add his body in a minute. So we have the shape in the middle of the page for his head, and then at the bottom we have his birdie feet, skinny birdie feet. All right, let's show everybody. I'm gonna take a little break and show everybody our finished example. Ha, ha, ha. Isn't he fancy? So we'll get there in a minute. We got a little more work to do, some more drawing. So here's the head with the eye. Here's the birdie feet. Now we're gonna work on the body. So let's go to the bottom of the page and let's draw a U shape like this. A letter U, just this much. Now we have to get skinnier. We're gonna get skinny and bring the letter U up to the head. So we're gonna make his neck a little bit skinnier than his fat body. Take your time. Then we have one more step to do with our pencil. Then we're gonna switch over to marker, okay, everybody? So we're gonna add these little curvy shapes on either side. Those are the wings. Peacocks have little short wings that are usually tucked behind their body like that. I'll show you on the example again. See, they're just little curved shapes right there on either side of his fat tummy. All right, friends, now what I want you guys to do when you're ready is drop the pencil and pick up your black marker or your black crayon, whatever you're using. You can use a black pen if you want. And I want you to carefully draw over all of your pencil lines. So take your time and trace over all of the pencil lines you just drew with the marker so we can see them. Just carefully take your time and trace around all of the pencil lines with the black crayon or the black marker. Then we're going to get ready to decorate our peacock. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw a little dot over here for his nose so he can breathe. And let's go to the top of his head, very top of his head, and we're going to draw that crown. Looks like that. And in fact, there's a little dot on the end of each one of those little curvy lines. And that is the peacock's crown. And if you want, you can draw some spots on his face, around his eye, and some dots on his neck, like that, if you want. I don't think he looks like a peacock yet. He's getting there. Almost there. So art friends, now we're gonna get to the fun part. We're gonna draw his fabulous feathers. We're gonna fill up this whole page with his feathers, and I will show you how to draw the feathers. We're gonna start at the bottom. We're gonna draw a line like this. See how it curves a little bit? And at the end, there's the oval shape, the eye. There's a spot inside. And then each one has some eyelashes. There we go. We're going to draw another one and some lashes. And then we're going to move up the body. And make them taller as we go. And we're going to add some eyelashes. See how they start out kind of short and then they get taller? I'm going to go over on this side of my peacock. I'm going to draw one here. And I'm going to draw the oval and the eyelashes. I'm going to keep going until I like the shape of this feather program here. One big one up there, coming out of the back of him. Maybe I have room for one more. Peacocks have lots of these feathers. There we go. Done with the black crayon or the black marker. Now, friends, I want you to get out your colors, colored pencils, markers, crayons. I am using crayons today. And what we're going to do is we're going to start by coloring in his beak and his head first. Then we're going to color his body using blue and turquoise, light blue, dark blue, green, turquoise, any of those colors that you have in your color box. Whatever you have. And then we're going to work on coloring the feathers. The feathers you just color in between. See how it fills up the whole shape? You just color the feathers in between. So I'm going to start by coloring his beak first. Then I'm going to color his head, sort of in the way that we drew him. We started with his head and his body. We finished with the feathers. We're going to color him in that same order. So next I'm getting kind of a turquoise color to color his head, his face. I'm going to need this color again in a minute. Next, I'm going to get to work on his tummy. Remember the picture on the iPad? He's really blue. So I'm going to start with blue down here on his tummy. And I'm going to carefully color his neck and his body. And a different color on his wings. Doesn't look like a peacock yet. He's getting there. Now we're going to work on, I'm going to start on the feathers. I'm going to use green and blue, turquoise, light blue I have light green. So those are all the colors of the peacock and his fabulous feathers. So I'm going to start at the bottom. And we're just going to use the feathers that we drew kind of as just a guideline. And we're just going to add a lot of color to very simply color his fabulous tail. And you're going to color in between the feathers you drew. Just color in between. Take your time. And if you're using crayons, you can blend colors. If you're using colored pencils, you can blend colors. Go over the eyelashes. And use all the colors you can to fill it in. So it looks like that. Green, blue, turquoise, all around. Okay, let me see some of my friends' work. Let me see Chase. Where's Chase? Oh, Kyle Devine. I see a baby there too. Great job. I love it. Let me see Noah. Noah and Noah's mommy. Gorgeous. Love it. 2 thumbs up, Noah and Noah's mommy. I love it. 2 thumbs up, dude. Keep coloring. Keep putting those colors on. Who else do I have here? Who else is here? Patrick Bellino, Mr. Bellino. Let me see what you got. Good. Oh, beautiful. Great job. Keep coloring. Show me some more colors. Let me see Lola. Keep going, Lo. Keep going, Lola. Let me see Lila's. Oh, Lila's got her blue marker out. Keep going. Lila did a great job on those feathers. Everybody's doing beautiful. Where's Mr. Wesh? Oh, Phyllis's iPad. I love it. Great job. Oh, beautiful. Courtney Lara Vier. Lara Vier. Gorgeous. Yep, put some more color on there. Lillian Albright. Let me see what's happening over there at the Albright's house. Oh, you did your background already. Thumbs up. Everybody's doing great. Phyllis's iPad. Let me see Phyllis's iPad. Oh, yeah. Marker. Action. You're ready to do your background. You can put whatever color you want in the background. I picked orange, but you can use whatever color you want in the background. My friends are doing such beautiful work. I can't stand it. I love it. Peacocks are so fabulous. Jackson, let me see. Oh, Jackson put purple on his. Very nice. I love it. Great job. Peacocks are a lot of fun, aren't they? Peacocks are the national bird of India. So here in the United States, we have the bald eagle, but in India, they have the peacock. That's a symbol of India. Noah and Noah's mommy are working hard on the coloring. I can see them. Mommy has beads of sweat on her forehead. She's working very hard on the coloring. So I have some more work to do on mine. I'm going to finish my feathers. And then I'm going to put something fabulous in the background. But everybody is doing such a great job on this fancy schmancy peacock. If you guys go to the Philadelphia Zoo, you can see the peacocks. They just walk around. They're not behind a cage or behind anything. They just walk around with the kids on the sidewalk. With their fabulous feathers out all the time. I'm going to show you on my iPad another picture of the peacock, some more peacock pictures before we say goodbye. There he is. There he is. Isn't he fancy? Good job, Chase. Here's a picture with his tail all folded up, dragging behind him. I have another one in here I want to show you somewhere. Where is it? Oh, here's one. This is a picture of the boy peacock with his big fan of feathers, and then this is the girl peacock. She's kind of gray and black and plain and drab and boring and kind of ugly, but it's the boy peacock that has the fabulous bright blue colors, and he's so fancy. And here's a peacock that's flying. You wouldn't think peacocks could fly. I've never seen a peacock flying in my house, my yard. Peacocks can fly just a little tiny bit because their feathers are so big on their tail. They can only fly a couple of feet, maybe, to get out of the way of a predator. Maybe they can fly from the sidewalk up to a fence. They're really not good at flying. They can only fly a tiny bit just to get out of the way. Most of the time, they stay on the ground, looking fancy and fabulous all the time. Peacocks are fabulous. You guys did a great job today. Keep going on these pictures. And next week, I'm going to come back and we're going to do something else really fun, I promise. Next week, we're going to talk about a very important famous artist. And we're going to draw something new, but I want my art friends to finish up their paintings. Keep going on your background and finish these peacocks. And next week, I'll come back and we're going to do something else. I see Noah with his orange crayon. He's working. Mr. Wesh, keep going on your background. You did a great job today. Everybody did so beautiful. Lola and Lila did a good job. Lily and Albright, let me see yours. Miss Albright, where's yours? Lara Vier, beautiful. Oh, beautiful. Miss Casey, where's yours? You were doing your math homework again. All right, everybody's doing great work. I love you guys. I'll see you next week. Keep going on these peacocks. Everybody did a wonderful job.
Okay.
Okay.
Friends.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you. I'll